What is going on, guys? It is your boy Chili, and I'm back. It has been a little over a week since I last uploaded. I ended up going to Montana for my girlfriend's brother's wedding and really just spent an amazing time up there with her family, and it was a truly wonderful trip. And then I got back mid last week and really just focused on getting my stuff ready for this next upcoming semester. I'm a junior in college, so just kind of getting everything taken care of on that end. But I wanted to discuss today, which today is the 15th, the major bit of information that I don't know if many people are discussing right now with the upcoming Rise of Iron, and that is the fact that during the Game Informer info drop and everything that they've said that has been really amazing, is the fact that at least right now, Bungie does not plan to increase vault space with Rise of Iron. And I know a bunch of other bigger channels have covered this, but I really wanted to go over, what the possible reasons behind that may be. Because last year, around this time, when we were going from the Year 1 Destiny into the Taken King, we obviously knew that there was going to be some sort of increase to vault space eventually, because we were having a bunch of new stuff come out, and pretty much right away we knew that our Year 1 gear was pretty much obsolete, and that Year 2 gear, even rare stuff, was a lot better than our legendary weapons. So it became very essential very fast to pretty much delete your stuff. And one of the big things that we've learned with the Game Informer info drop is the fact that infusion is still going to be a very big factor upcoming with the Rise of Iron, which will be very nice because that means that we can infuse Year 2 stuff up to Year 3 status, and as well as infusing obviously exotics that we like from Year 2 335 to the max light, which is probably going to be 400 by the end of the time the hard raid comes out, which is awesome. One of the biggest things, however, that is in shocking news in a bad way is the fact that, according to Game Informer, it looked as if vault space was not an issue that the Bungie devs were looking to tackle right away, and that is in many ways a major issue. And really, that means a couple things. It either means that with a majority of the developers working on Bungie 2, which was stated in the Game Informer interview, the content increases that we're going to have, and even with the Rise of Iron, it's not as big as we once thought it was. And the main reason I say that is, why would they increase vault space unless there's not really a good amount of content to get? I mean, we're going to have new raid gear, new trials gear, new Iron Banner gear that kind of interplaces the stuff that you already have, maybe minus your raid gear. But you're also going to lose out on, things like exotics if they do introduce new exotics. Maybe there's not that many. We really don't know, but the fact that they don't address that has always been kind of a major issue. Now, a fallback option for a long time was the fact that we could say, oh, well, the old gen consoles can't handle those capabilities of asking for that much stuff, or in terms of vault space, they couldn't ask for that much. And now that we're dropping legacy consoles, and we're actually a couple days away from that taking place, there really is no excuse anymore. We're not hindered by old gen limitations. We should really be moving forward, and there should really be a big bump to vault space. And if there isn't a big bump to vault space, maybe what they could do is they could implement a better system for vault stuff and a better use of the vendors and kiosks. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Another thing that it could mean, sadly, is that the realization is going to be is that you're going to have to delete a lot of your Year 2 stuff. And that's unfortunate. I'd obviously like to think that you don't have to do that. And maybe during the reveal tomorrow, sometime right before the Rise of Iron, we'll get some information that we don't have to actually delete stuff, that vault space is something that they just implemented. It wasn't that big of an issue. I would assume that vault space, adding stuff on for an entire new year's worth of content, is not super difficult, but I could be wrong. But as I was saying earlier, one thing that we could look forward to is maybe a better implementation of the kiosks, vendors, in just the overall vault space. And one of the biggest things I said is, with Amanda Holiday in the tower, a great thing that they did was they took your SRL gear that previously people had to hold on to if they purchased it because they never knew if they would get it back. They made her pretty much sell it all the time. And what I think would be a great idea is for those people who took place, or who participated in the Festival of the Lost, have the lady who sells shaders, her name escapes me right now, but have her collect your Festival of the Lost masks. And if you did have all of those, that's 17 spaces that can be cleared up, and there are obviously ways to get around this. And I apologize for sniffling, by the way. Allergies are kicking in, and they're beating my ass today. But the biggest thing that I see being a problem going into the Rise of Iron is the fact that they're carrying over in the infusion mechanic of the game, which essentially made all the gear that they released over the Taken King viable, because you can infuse all the way up to year 2 elite status in terms of having it 335. They didn't do this in between Destiny Year 1 and Destiny Year 2, so it was very much one of those things where it was like, we knew that our Year 1 raid gear was obsolete once that certain time came. Okay, there was no doubt about that. As much as you wanted to keep the Fatebringer, the Vision of Confluence, or yada yada, the Vex, they really were only viable in some PvP forms because, well, that's really the only way you could use it unless you were running like the level 20 Vanguard strikes. So it was very obvious that they had run their course in terms of efficiency in the game and really the situations they would use it. Well, if we do carry forward the Year 2 infusion mechanic and we keep it the way it is, where you infuse one time up to 100%, it's going to very quickly become your vault space is very quickly going to fill up with all the new armor sets that they're going to add. I'm a collector, so I don't have necessarily a full vault, but it is getting there. You know, I do have all the class-specific items for my characters, and it's one of those, if they do introduce new content, it's going to be very hard to sit back and go, okay, I'm going to delete this or delete that. It makes it so that the person who gets the most exotics and stuff, they're going to have to really cherry pick which ones they want to keep, which is kind of unfortunate because the overall idea of exotics is they're supposed to be the most unique pieces of arsenal in the game. They're supposed to be the things that you kind of really go after, and some of them obviously aren't as useful as others. Some of them are PvP based, some of them are PvE based, but you shouldn't have to sit here and, you know, pick through the ones that you want. It's just not a good system. And one of the biggest things I've always said about the Bungie community is the fact that we are like the vampires from Blade 2, right? We're like those crack addicts that have to feed like every 12 hours. Like, we get sick and we get through content faster than any game I can think of right now. The PvP and the PvE just get run through, and then people are like, well, we want more. We're left craving more. And, you know, vault space is sometimes what people say, oh, well, you just shouldn't have that much stuff, delete it. But there are the collectors out there. There's going to be a bunch of new content out, and the fact of the matter is vault space, according to what Game Informer said, could be a very real issue. Now, they ran into this issue with the House of Wolves back on Year 1, where we physically did not have enough vault space for consumables at the time, and it really led to a major issue. Now, I may do like a how to prepare for the Rise of Iron video in a couple weeks, and I'll show you my vault, but essentially my consumables, most of that is filled up with the sparrow horns, because I don't really understand why there's a place for them in the kiosk but you can't delete them. And then most of my armor slot is filled up with obviously the Festival of the Lost Masks. So there is a way that they can better implement the system that we have. If they don't want to expand vault space, maybe they can just itemize it better use of the vendors or kiosks, because those were a great addition in Year 2 or going into Year 2. So there are ways around this. However, out of all the great info that's dropped, all the new content that's coming out, new social space, new ghosts to collect, new PvP mode, I mean, there really is so much to be excited for. This was kind of a scary thing. So I'm really hoping that right up until Rise of Iron, they release some info and they basically say, yeah, you know, it's something that we're already taking care of, you don't have to worry. Or something that they address right away, because I do think that if most of the developers are working on Destiny 2 at Bungie, that vault space is either going to be something that is fixed very quickly at the beginning of the game and it's not adjusted again, or it's not adjusted at all, unfortunately, and you're going to have to really go through and cleanse your vault if you have a bunch of stuff. So, you know, really unfortunate thing to think of. I don't like the idea of thinking of all the stuff that I worked hard, strike-specific loot, things like that. And that guy's teabagging me. What a douche. All that stuff, I have to be meticulous and cleanse, and I want to be able to keep all of it if it's all viable from Year 2 to Year 3. So that's my little rant. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you guys worried? Do you guys think it won't be that big of an issue? Do you think it's the right thing to do? Let me know what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave me a thumbs up down below. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys like what you see, subscribe. I got plenty of new content coming out. I'm going to be doing a lot of new things with the channel as I head into the school year. So hope you guys have a wonderful Monday evening. I will be uploading tomorrow. It may not be Destiny, but I do cover Destiny weekly on my channel. And with that being said, guys, have a wonderful evening. Stay focused, stay humble, stay driven, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.